Hello guys, it's the Caribbean Bookworm, and today I'll be giving you a review, finally, of... No, not today, bastard. I'm sorry for the weird intro. I tried doing something new. Do you like it? Let me know in the comments below. Please, today I'll be doing a review of It by Stephen King. This massive chunk of a book, which looked way nicer before I handled it. But it is about a group of people in Derry, Maine, who start experiencing these weird things, these weird phenomenons that are somehow linked to a couple of murder sprees on children in the weird city of Derry, Maine. They start to notice that these killings have similar patterns of a demonic presence, you could say, of a kind. And they decide to band together in a summer vacation to stop whatever it is. And afterwards, there's a time jump of 27 years where they are adults, where they also decide to come back to finish the job. It, as you already probably noticed, is based on more than one timeline. It's based around two timelines where they were little and when they were adults. So it cuts back and forth from where they're adults to remembering when they were children and so forth. So if you're not comfortable with, that's first point I have to make. If you're not comfortable with flashback sequences, then this is going to be a bit of a tough read because there are a lot of flashback sequences in it. It has a lot of strong language and very gory scenes. So even though it is not like the scariest thing out there, in my honest opinion, it definitely deserves the, if it was a movie, it definitely deserves the R rating because it has a lot of intense gory scenes that are not healthy for children, to say the least. Now on to the praises. As you already know, there are a lot of praises with this big chunk of a book because one, despite its length, despite its 1150 something pages, you are engaged in almost every moment because the story is so well written. The characters are very fleshed out when they were adults and when they were kids, so you never feel like you're detached from one of the characters. Stephen King does an amazing job of creating this world of his own and also investing you into the characters, so it doesn't feel like the characters are flat. It feels like these characters actually have some depth, some emotion to them, and you actually care about them when creepy stuff starts happening. Another definite positive is the antagonist of the book itself, which is It. It usually takes the form, or it loves taking the form, of Pennywise the dancing clown, but it isn't its true form. It's just one of the many forms that it takes. And along with one of the most crucial plots of the book, its basic motto is that it shapeshifts into anything the characters fear. So it preys on people's fear. If you fear something like, let's say, a killer giant dog, for an example, it will shapeshift into that dog. At first, it will present itself as Pennywise the clown to kind of lure children in, and then it shapeshifts into something a lot more terrifying. And another definite positive that I can give this book is that it builds intrigue. It again has to do with the story writing, of course. It's good story writing that does this, but basically it keeps you on the edge of your seat. You keep wanting to learn more about this It thing. What is it? And it isn't clear for the large majority of the book until you reach the final parts of the book. That's when they start explaining vaguely what it is. And that whole build up, that whole journey to the discovery of what this evil thing is and how to defeat it is what makes it this amazing book. That's not just a horror book, but also a great coming to age book about just kids realizing how their lives are slowly being formed and how they change from childhood to adulthood. So overall, I gave this book a 5 stars on Goodreads for good reasons. See the rhyme there? Okay, anyway. Despite having some minor flaws like the ones I mentioned before, and also things like the book dragging along at times the book drags and drags. So yeah, despite those things, I still think this is a very, very good read, especially if you're a big Stephen King fan. I really recommend it's a classic. You have to read it. Just be aware of the size. This is no joke. The size, it took me 2 months, but I'm a slow reader. Even fast readers, it takes them about a month or at least 2 weeks. So that's a lot for some people who read very, very fast. So it is a huge chunk of a book, but you will not regret it at the end. So yeah, that's my review of it. At last, I'm finished with it, and now I'm reading Everything's Eventual, 14 Dark Tales, so the short stories, and then to finally jump into the Dark Tower series. So look forward to that, and see you guys very soon. Bye.